morning and happy Monday. My freezer stash is officially empty, so today we are going to be making 3 freezer safe and toddler friendly recipes. If you're new here, I have a toddler who is 1 year and 3 months. I am a busy mom who works full time in addition to posting a lot of content on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So it is well worth it for me to take some time once a month to create a freezer stash for Bennett. That way on my extra busy days, he still has good meals to eat. When I do his freezer stashes once a month, I try to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner options. So for the breakfast option, I'm making apple and oat pancakes. For the lunch option, I'm making veggie pizza pinwheels. And for the dinner option, I'm making veggie and chicken patties. Bennett has had all of these recipes before and usually loves them, so I think this freezer stash will definitely be a hit for him. We have a lot of cooking to do, so let's get started.
Our first recipe today is going to be an apple oat pancake. These are so easy and they are made with simple and healthy ingredients. For this recipe, we are going to need about 2/3 of a cup of apple puree. So first I'm going to take 1 large apple, peel it, and then chop it into small pieces. Once that is done, I'm going to get a small pot of water on the stove and wait for that to boil. While we are waiting for that to boil, I'm going to bring out my little blender and I'm going to blend about 1.5 cups of oats, and then we will set those aside. Now that my water is boiling, I'm going to get my apples in there and try not to burn myself in the process. These will boil for about 6 to 8 minutes or until they're nice and soft. Once those are done boiling, I'm going to take them straight over to a blender and puree those. I just added a couple tablespoons of water to help it blend smoother. Our ingredients are ready, so I'm going to grab a large bowl. First I'm adding in those oats that we blended. Then I'm adding in about 1/2 cup of almond milk. You can also use coconut milk. And then I have 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Next I'm adding in about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then you'll need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then I'm adding in that apple puree. Mixing that together, then I'm adding in just a little bit of nutmeg. I usually add cinnamon to these, but I didn't have any, so if you have cinnamon, definitely add in about a teaspoon. Now we can start cooking these, so I'm just adding a little bit of nonstick spray onto my pan. The stove is on medium heat. I'm using my ice cream scooper to portion these out into little pancakes. These only need about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. And these are done. Bennett absolutely loves these. They freeze and thaw really well, and they're great for quick breakfast. The next recipe we're going to make is the chicken and veggie patties. I've shared these on my Instagram before. They're a really popular one and really great for your freezer stash for a high protein option. I'm using spinach for this recipe. You can use any of your favorite veggies. I usually use broccoli, but I didn't have any. You could also shred up some zucchini, add in some finely diced red pepper, whatever favorite veggies your little one has. Now I'm just adding the spinach into a bowl, and then I'm adding in 1 pound of ground chicken and then 2 eggs. When I originally did this recipe, I did 1 egg and some applesauce. I didn't have any, so I just used 2 eggs instead. I then used 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs I seasoned with garlic powder and paprika. And I also added in some salt and pepper. Now that everything is well mixed together, I'm going to grab a baking sheet with some tin foil that I sprayed with some nonstick spray. I'm using my cookie dough scoop to portion out these patties. These are going to bake in the oven at 400 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I am going to flip them over halfway through so they cook evenly on both sides. You want to make sure that these are fully cooked before you give them to your little one, especially since it's chicken. Internal temperature should be about 160. This is what they look like when they are all done. Again, this is a favorite. Bennett really likes these. I really like that they're high in protein, really great for quick meals when we have super busy days. Our last recipe of the day is some pizza pinwheels. These are definitely Bennett's favorite recipe of the day. He loves it every time I make these, and they are super easy to make. Again, I'm using spinach for this recipe, but you can use any of your little one's favorite veggies. I find that spinach is just really easy because you can chop it really finely and it's kind of hard to notice. Now I'm just making sure I put down some nonstick spray before I roll out the pizza dough. First thing I'm adding on top of the pizza dough is some pizza sauce. I just got this from the store. This is a great way to also sneak in veggies to this meal. If you can buy a sauce that has veggies in it, or you can take the sauce and just blend in some veggies, pretty easy to sneak some in. And then I'm using some shredded mozzarella for the cheese. Now I can add on a good amount of that finely chopped spinach. Lastly, I'm just seasoning with some pizza seasoning. Now I'm going to roll this together, and then I'm going to move it over to my cutting board so that I can cut out my pinwheels. And these are ready to go in the oven. These are going to be baked at 400 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. And these are done. How yummy do these look? Bennett seriously loves these. He was standing by my side the entire time I was making them. As soon as they were cooled, I gave him one to taste test and he approved. Now I'm just going to pack these into a Tupperware container, but before I put these in the freezer, I have to give Bennett one to taste. And that completes our January meal prep. Next week's video is going to be a weekend vlog, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it.